Hi everybody. I told my classes this past couple of weeks that I had a dead owl in my freezer and I couldn't find it. So sure enough, after my last class, the next day I found the owl. And I had found it on the side of the road. It probably got hit by a car. And when I saw it, it had just died. It wasn't stiff or anything like that, didn't smell bad. And so I thought, I'm gonna teach an owl class someday. So when it was time to teach the class, I was looking everywhere for the dead owl in the freezer and I couldn't find it. For some reason I had put it somewhere else and I didn't find it until yesterday. So now I'm gonna show you the owl that I found, and it's such a great find. I don't think I've ever seen an owl before in person, up close. So I wanna show you a couple things about this owl. So I'm gonna put the camera down and we're gonna look at our barred owl. Okay, now this is the beak. And barred owls, and this is a barred owl. The reason they're called barred owls because their feathers have bars on them. So they're quite common in South Carolina. They're nocturnal owls like most owls. And this one has an orange beak, and you can't see it now, but it had beautiful big brown eyes. And owls have interesting eyes because they have 3 eyelids. They have a lower eyelid, an upper eyelid, and one that goes from inside to this way, diagonal, and it's called a nictitating membrane. And that protects them if prey is trying to hurt them, or if somebody's scratching and biting at them. That nictitating membrane covers their eye as well. Now these owls weigh about 1.5 pounds. And from what I can tell, I think this was a male because he's not very heavy. And males are about 25% smaller than females in the owl world. So I'm pretty sure he was a male. And what else was I going to tell you about him? Oh, the ears. Now, barred owls do not have ear tufts. Ear tufts are usually like at the top of the head. And we have great horned owls here in South Carolina, and they have ear tufts. And they're fake. They're not real ears. They look like ears, but they're not. And all they do is indicate what kind of mood the owl is in. So just like your cat or dog, if it's in a good mood, the ears will be straight up. And if he's scared or upset, the ears are sideways and backwards. So I will always tell the kids, it's just like your parents. If they're in a bad mood, these owl babies will know they better behave if their parents' ears are sideways. So that's the beak, there's the eyes, and the ears are on this animal are, let's see if I can find it, it's still kind of frozen. The ears on the barred owl, okay, here's an ear right here. I'm gonna try to open it up so you can see. That's an ear hole right there. Now, if this animal were not dead or frozen, I could show you that if I open up this ear hole, you could actually see the back of his eyeball because it kind of connects. There's that opening and you can see the back of the eyeball. Now, barred owls, like the barn owls, their ears are not symmetrical. So this ear that I just showed you is right here where my finger is, and the other ear is right here. Now, it's not quite symmetrical, so one is higher than the other, which gives them a huge advantage for hunting at night or if there's snow, because sound arrives at their face, at their ears at different times, because one ear is lower than the other. So they have a big advantage in hunting that way over a lot of other birds. And then it also has something right here called a facial ruff. And what this is these are the rough feathers surrounding the bird's face Here, this is part of the facial ruff, and it all points towards the holes, the ear holes. So there's the facial ruff pointing to this ear, and if you can see it, here's the facial ruff pointing to the other ear. So all of their head is geared in such a way that it's almost like a satellite disc. All the sound comes straight into their ears. And their hearing is about 10 times better than humans. Owls also can rotate their necks 270 degrees. Now, we did a test in class. I can only move mine about 60 degrees, and some of the kids can move theirs 90, but owls can move their head 270 degrees, which is quite a bit. Now, they can't rotate 360 degrees, but they can still go quite a ways. The reason is their eyes can only go straight ahead. Like me, I can move my eyes left or right. They can't. They can just look straight. So they have to turn their whole head if they want to see something. And that gives them an advantage to be able to move their neck 270 degrees. They also have 14 neck bones, and we only have 7. So that's another advantage. Now, this is something I thought was so interesting. When I was teaching this class, one of the moms said her mother worked with a wildlife rehab or rescue organization. And they rescued an owl, and it was in a cage. And her mom opened the cage door and threw some food in there, some animal parts. And the owl thought it was being attacked and stuck its talon inside inside the palm of her hand like that. And it came out through the other side, which is awful. But this back talon, they have 4 talons, and the back talon is the one that they use to jab their prey, and then they wrap the other 3 talons around their prey. So if they're catching a mouse or a rodent or anything else that they can eat, that's what they're going to do. I'm trying to show you the talon. There you go. Now you can see the talons of both feet. So this is the talon they use for jabbing, and this is what went through this poor lady's palm of her hand. And then these are the other 3 talons they use for grabbing. So they are amazing, beautiful birds. And I was so happy that I found my owl. So look at these gorgeous feathers. And that's why they're called barred owls. So I'm going to put him back in the freezer. I'm assuming it's a him. And I'll see you next time. Bye, boys and girls.